everybody, hope you all are doing good. Today I'll be talking about the topic is guilt. Why people feel guilty? Is it good to feel guilty? What is guilt? Is it good that you are suffering from guilt inside you? So let's just talk about it. First of all, I want you to understand what guilt is. For example, fear is a natural emotion of a human being, right? But guilt is socially cultivated. People feel guilty about different kind of things in different societies. For example, an Indian will feel guilty of a different thing, which an American can just go like that, he or she is not guilty of anything. And or vice versa. American might feel guilty of doing something, but Indian can just go like that. For example, is in a villages, if an American goes there and they are wearing some short clothes or two-piece clothes, and it's very fine for an American, the person won't feel guilty about it. But if the Indian woman in her village, she's going like that in a two pieces, she'll feel extremely guilty of it, right? So guilt is socially cultivated. It's not a natural emotion of a human being. For example, anger is a natural emotion of a human being. So first of all, this is very important to understand that it is socially cultivated. It depends upon different situation to situation. A person can be I can be guilty of something, but you can just go like that. You won't be feel guilty of the same thing. And similarly, it depends upon the different group of societies. Different people in the different societies feel guilt for different things. So by feeling guilty, you are just doing damage to your own self. This is very important to understand. The worst kind of guilt which every human being should suffer is that you are not living joyfully. If you're not living joyfully, that's the worst kind of guilt that you must suffer from. For example, if there is somebody else, who's harming you, who's hurting you, you have a defense mechanism to that. But if you yourself is torturing yourself, right, you are a completely defenseless being. That's the worst kind of guilt one should suffer from, that they are not living joyfully at all. So all I want to say is, stop torturing yourself. That is the worst kind of guilt. Now I want you to understand guilt with some more few examples I wanted to give you. Through that I want you to understand guilt. For example, if you commit some kind of sin, you will be guilty of, right? Let's take an example of a sin. For example, you kill an animal, so you'll be guilty of, right? Now, every breath, every inhalation and exhalation which you are taking, you are killing millions of bacteria in that process. Now you are guilty of the very breath even you are taking. The fruits, the plants, the vegetables which you are taking inside you, then, they are alive. Aren't they alive? Now you will be guilty of eating them as well. The very simple process of life, which is breathing, it can be a guilt. The very simple process of life which you are eating, that can be a guilt, because you are killing the plants, you're killing the vegetables, and with every breath, every inhalation and exhalation, you are just killing millions of bacteria, right? Millions of microorganisms. All I want to tell you is that guilt is socially cultivated. The worst kind of guilt that the humanity suffers is they are not living joyfully. They are torturing themselves, a completely defenseless being, right? If somebody else is torturing you or doing some harm to you, you have defense mechanism to it. But if you yourself is torturing yourself, causing harm to yourself, then there's no way out to it, right? So if you just stop your, nonsense of your mind and just stop having some stupid ideas about life, you will be automatically joyful. All I want to say is just don't mess around with your mind. Don't have all those stupid ideas, stupid ideas about life, and then you are just creating misery to your own self. All I want to say is that that guilt is socially cultivated. It's not a natural emotion of a human being. The worst kind of guilt that humanity is suffering, or that everybody of us should suffer, is that we are causing harm to ourselves. We are not living our life joyfully. That is the worst kind of guilt. That you yourself is not living your life joyfully. Thank you so much for watching me. Have a great day and cheers.